If the past comes back to you and impacts your life, it was never the past. Now, let's move on to the second part of the summary of Cunning Single Lady. Do you remember Aira? She wanted to win back her ex-husband Youngwoo after he became a millionaire, and it seems she succeeded after supporting him at his father's funeral. This puts Yo-jin in a battle to prevent the ex-spouses from getting back together. Will she succeed? At work the following day, he walks inside with Yo-jin, and all the staff talk about how they look cute together. Even in her office, she overhears them saying they will get married. Song-yi doesn't make it easy as she also keeps nagging her for going to the funeral early. Seung-hyun gets uncomfortable and drags her to the balcony asking her if she likes Youngwoo. She tells him no and asks why he is interested in that. Before they finish the conversation, a bottle ring enters her finger and she struggles to take it off. He helps her do that in the office, and Wang also gives her a job that will make her stay late at work again. She leaves to get food. That night, Yo-jin goes on the date with Youngwoo and gives him the tie. He appreciates her for being with him and helping him all the way before he returns to the office. He walks into Aira, who is with her food, and they coincidentally ask if they want to eat. She takes the food to his office and they eat. They spend time together before he sleeps off, and she returns to her work. When he wakes, he sneaks to check up on her. The following day, she submits her report, which was quite nice. She walks through the elevator and she sees Youngwoo on the tire Yo-jin has bought, and she gets jealous. Seung-hyun takes her to the rooftop and they play while Youngwoo sees them and gets jealous. They get their first paycheck that evening, so Seung-hyun takes her to a fine restaurant where he plays the instrument for her. Youngwoo stalks them and sees them coming out, so that night, he calls Seung-hyun, who declares that he wants to tell the woman he likes that he likes her. The next day is the company's workshop. It shocks the staff to see Youngwoo in attendance, and also Yo-jin. They ask Aira what she thinks about the luxury fashion business, and she comments that she doesn't think it will bring in clients compared to things people eat and others. The mood gets sore, but Seung-hyun quickly supports her that she is right. They begin the game and Youngwoo gets jealous of the way Seung-hyun and Aira play together. He asks to join the game, and they play together. They also cook and eat, and while cleaning, Seung-hyun asks Aira to come out in an hour. On the other hand, Youngwoo is with Yo-jin, who asks him to protect her the same way she had protected him and stood by him all the way. He sees Seung-hyun planning the scene for proposal to stop it. He goes to meet Wang and says he needs a particular alcohol. Aira offers to go and buy it, and he insists on following. He spends all her time looking for nothing and even pretends to be injured. Eventually, he calls Yo-jin and Aira leaves. When Yo-jin arrives, she assumes what had happened, and he also says he wants to return to the lodge. By the time Aira gets back to Seung-hyun, he has started cleaning the lights he set. He tells her she has the worst timing, and he expresses his feelings and how he always wants to protect her. She tells him she is just a divorcee who is trying to navigate through life, and he doesn't have to mind her at all. She tries to walk away, and he hugs her from behind while Youngwoo sees them. He angrily leaves and goes to his dream home. Aira tells Seung-hyun to leave her, and she returns to the gathering. They find out their app isn't working, and Yo-jin tries to contact Youngwoo to no avail, and they start looking for him. Aira goes to his home and tells him they are worried. He wonders if she is worried about her CEO or about him, and she tells him it is about her CEO, saying she knows the company is very important to him. Angrily, he tells her she doesn't have to worry about any part of him. The following day, she returns to work and Seung-hyun tries to talk to her about his feelings. They talk at the rooftop and Youngwoo sneaks at them. She tells him she appreciates his feelings towards her, but she can't reciprocate it. He replies that he will accept his rejection, but would try again. He goes to Youngwoo's office in pain and tells Youngwoo he was rejected. Youngwoo is so excited but couldn't express it. Seung-hyun goes to drink that night. At work, Youngwoo and Yo-jin do an interview where the interviewer asks if there could be a relationship between them. Yo-jin immediately says they can't be unsure, and after looking at Aira, Youngwoo smiles. The following day is Aira's birthday, and Youngwoo intentionally gives her a job to make her stay late at work. She is meant to have dinner with Seung-hyun that night, and when she tries to sneak away, Youngwoo screams and calls her to his office. She continues the project while she sends a text to Seung-hyun that she can't come, and he sends her a happy birthday. Youngwoo also gets her a cake, and she wonders if it is coincidental, or he remembers her birthday. At work the next day, Yo-jin sees her and Seung-hyun together, and she immediately goes to their office. She tells her that the man she gave the tie really liked it, and Wang asks if the rumors they have been hearing is true. At that moment, another staff member enters and talks about the rumor that Yo-jin and Youngwoo are dating. Instead of denying it, Yo-jin smiles and everyone congratulates them. She wonders if Yo-jin knows about her marriage, and she tries to text Youngwoo to confirm but deletes the text. He sees it and calls her at the rooftop. She refuses to talk to him, and as she walks away, he drags her to his house at the basement of the company. While they argue, his mother and sister arrive, so he hides her in her room. but finds her phone accessory. His mother instructs him to fire Aira despite him telling her that she is only there for a short period. His mother insists she wants to leech on him, and they also see the message Aira's mother sent to him after the food. They insist the entire family wants to leech on him, and he must discard them. He tells his mother to leave. After she leaves, he brings Aira out and asks her if she heard what they had said, but she denies it. She goes to the restroom to cry, and upon coming out, she sees Seung Hyun has gotten food for her. As they eat, she receives a call from her brother that Young-woo's mother and sister are in their restaurant. Young-woo's mother insulted her in front of her mother, and her mother gets angry. This leads to a fight between both mothers. She goes to the rooftop and tells Young-woo what had happened, telling him that although her intentions when she first started working weren't pure, but at that point, her intentions are pure, and she doesn't want to get back to him, so his mother should stop. She walks home and finds Seung Hyun by her house. She invites him in, and they make candles together, and she also nurses his burn. He checks around the house and sees her diary. The first page he opens is her picture with Young-woo. Shocked, he goes to his mother's studio to paint, and Yo-jin visits to ask him for a favor. Feeling bad about his mother's act, Young-woo visits Aira's parents, and her mother tells him how much Aira had paid up debts after the divorce, also that it was her brother that took the alimony and not her. He is shocked to find out how much Aira has suffered. She tells him she doesn't want him back with Aira, and he should leave her. Aira coincidentally comes in, and she warns Aira to resign. Aira sees Young-woo off and tells him she is already looking for a new job, and she will resign soon. He also tells her that her phone accessory is in his office, and she should come for it. As he leaves her restaurant, he sees Seung Hyun. Seung Hyun tries to talk, but he tells Seung Hyun not to consider it. Seung Hyun asks if he knew, and he also tries to know how Seung Hyun had known. Seung Hyun admits that Aira doesn't know he knows about their marriage, and he doesn't want her to know. He insists that he likes Aira, and he will continue to like her regardless of her former relationship with Young-woo. Young-woo begs him to stop, but he insists and asks why. When he sees Young-woo doesn't have a good reason, he tells him he isn't stopping. Young-woo also sees that he has brought a painting to give to Aira, so he takes it and runs off to open it. Seung Hyun tells Young-woo that he is sure Young-woo isn't oblivious of Yo-jin's love for him, and he won't be angry if Young-woo doesn't want to reciprocate. But he would love if Young-woo makes his stance clear so that Yo-jin won't be hurt. Upon returning to work the next day, Wang gives Aira more jobs to do, and she complains to Seung Hyun that she has to finish them all so she can resign. He wonders if the resignation is because of him, but she says no. Young-woo also invites Soo-cheol to his office and even offers him a job in his company. As he sees him off, Aira sees them. He excuses himself to meet Seung Hyun and keeps pestering Seung Hyun to leave Aira. Aira walks into the conversation, and they change it to mean they are challenging each other for workout. They go to work out, but Aira declares Young-woo the winner so she can leave. She walks away with Seung Hyun so she can continue her work. Earlier that day, Yo-jin announces to her father that Seung Hyun has accepted to remain in the company after his internship. She meets Seung Hyun later and tells him she knows it is because of Aira and asks if he is contemplating not taking her home because she is divorced and older. She asks him what Aira thinks about his feelings, and he admits that she hasn't accepted him, which makes her wonder if it is because she likes someone else. He also tells her he wants her to be happy. That night, while Aira works, Young-woo comes to give her the phone accessory and remains by the corner. Suddenly her laptop catches virus, and she loses the document she was working on. He quickly comes to her rescue and recovers it. He also looks at the documents she is working on, and he sees that she is writing stupid ideas, and he helps her edit them in a way that makes sense, which makes her appreciate him. They go to the rooftop to talk, where he confirms that he was the one that invited her brother that day, and he didn't know she had struggled that much. He wonders why she didn't tell him, and she tells him it was because she felt he was struggling too, and she didn't want to add to it. She tells him not to worry about her, and it was bygone. She distracts herself by appreciating the sky, but notices there is no star, which makes him inform her that it will rain. The rain starts and he leads her to his house, but she insists on going home and she leaves. The following day, he struggles to get her attention again to no avail. He therefore tells Johan that he is feeling very weak and he can't walk well. He walks towards the elevator where he sees Aira's colleague, Mr. Gam, and he pretends to Mr. Gam that he is very ill and he needs help. Mr. Gam goes to his office and announces that Young-woo needs someone to help him with meals at work, but Aira doesn't care because she has to work. Mr. Gam follows Young-woo home but can't cook the meal well. Young-woo calls Johan complaining that Aira is heartless and she doesn't care, but Johan informs him that it was Aira who had stayed with him the last time he was in the hospital, and he was shocked with this discovery because Yo-jin had hidden it from him. He asks Gam to call Aira, and she eventually comes with Seung Hyun. On the other hand, Soo-cheol had visited Min Young at home. and while working on her candles, he mistakenly set the entire house on fire. Just as Ae-ra finishes with the meal, Min-young calls her, and she tries to rush out with Seung-hyun, but they meet Yo-jin by the door. After they leave, Yo-jin admits that she knows who Ae-ra is to Young-woo, and she felt betrayed when she found out. On the other hand, she was happy because it means he hid it from her because he saw her as a woman. He tries to talk to her, but she knows he wants to reject her, so she says she doesn't want to listen that day and she just wants to talk. He thinks in his mind that he has made a mistake by making her feel he saw her as a woman. Seeing the burnt house, Seung-hyun asks Ae-ra to stay at his studio. When she gets there, she sees the painting he made of them. They talk and he hugs her. At the studio, Seung-hyun tells Ae-ra about how his mother is in Paris and his father is still waiting for her, and how he wishes he has a good family like that of Ae-ra. Then they share a hug, and she sees him outside so he can go home. When Yo-jin gets home, Chairman Gook tells her he has invited Young-woo to their house, and he wants to talk about her marriage. She tells him to leave her life alone, but he asks if it is because of her leg. It turns out she had lost her legs during the accident. He claims he will tell Young-woo about it, but Yo-jin gets angry and tells him he doesn't have the heart of human. He attempts to hit her, but Young-woo arrives and blocks it. Yo-jin is in tears, so Young-woo takes her to her room, and she asks him to remain with her till she falls asleep, which he does. After he leaves, he calls the fire at Ae-ra's house and calls to know where she is, but she refuses to tell him. The following day, Ae-ra goes for a community get-together in her mother's restaurant, and her childhood friends are there. Some of them taunt her about being divorced and claim she is no longer the star of the city like she was then, so she should feel defeated. To their shock, Young-woo attends the program. After they drink, one of the men who was asking Ae-ra out as a child drags her aside, telling her she rejected him because she wanted a civil servant, but her former husband is now an entrepreneur too. She shuns him and tries to walk away, but he drags her back and asks her if she thinks he wants her again, and says he is bigger than her already. He says irritating words at her, and Young-woo comes to her rescue by dragging him away. She drags Young-woo outside, telling him things like that aren't new to her, and he may not have experienced it doesn't mean it doesn't happen, and she has been surviving since, so he should leave her. Unknown to them, Chairman Gook's assistant sees them. Seung-hyun arrives and calls Young-woo to know why he is still there. He tells Young-woo that he has come to take Ae-ra home, and Young-woo assumes they are living together, which gets him more jealous. The following day, Yo-jin calls Ae-ra for a meal, and she tells her she knows about her union. She also talks about her late boyfriend and her accident. She says she has been supporting Young-woo for 3 years, and now she thinks Ae-ra just wants to confuse Young-woo. She tells her Young-woo has no feelings for her, and he is only pitying her, and since she knows he is kind-hearted, she shouldn't confuse him. She feels so bad about this, and later, she goes for the board meeting about her wedding anniversary project. At first, the board members reject it, but later, she convinces them, and they accept. This makes Yo-jin angry that she tears the proposal. Young-woo calls Ae-ra for a celebration dinner, but she remembers Yo-jin's words and refuses. She also gets an invitation for an interview at the hotel she fought for coupons for. Young-woo goes for the dinner and waits for her to no avail. He calls her, and she doesn't pick up and gets stomach upset that night. He goes to the hospital the following day, and the doctor tells him he is lovesick. The following day, Ae-ra takes an excuse from work to attend the interview, and Seung-hyun sees Young-woo coming to find her, so he tells him. Young-woo causes Ae-ra, but she begs him to leave her, saying she doesn't need his pity. Shockingly, he tells her he loves her, and he kisses her. She breaks out of the kiss and tells him she is not interested. She says she has been scouted for a job, and she now loves her life, so he shouldn't destroy it for her. Reluctantly, he offers to drive her to the hotel. Gook's secretary takes a picture of their kiss and goes to show Seung-hyun. He tells Seung-hyun that Chairman Gook has been having sleepless night because of Yo-jin, and if he finds out about Ae-ra, he may lose his mind. Seung-hyun collects the picture and begs the secretary to keep it from his dad. He calls Ae-ra to no avail, and she doesn't pick up. He walks to Yo-jin's office, and he sees the way she is losing her mind because of Ae-ra, and he feels pity for his sister. Ae-ra's opponent at the interview is an elite lady, and she tries to intimidate Ae-ra in the restroom, but Young-woo helps her by telling the lady to pass the stairs and miss the interview. After the interview, Ae-ra gets a message that they will send her the result later, and Young-woo also takes her out where he tells her he plans to start over with her. He drives her to the studio and asks her to come and stay with him, but she refuses. Seung-hyun comes to ask why she had ignored his messages. She doesn't have a response, and he comments that she should say something so they can have a girlfriend and boyfriend argument, but she reminds him they aren't together, and he walks away tearfully. He goes to drink and calls Young-woo. Young-woo tells him he wants to start over with Ae-ra, and he asks what will happen to his sister. Young-woo reminds him that he had never led Yo-jin on. He tells him he wishes to hold him and Ae-ra, and not lose any of them, but Seung-hyun asks if he has to speak to him and Ae-ra who will be picked. but Young-woo insists he will ensure he picks both Seung-hyeon and Ae-ra without losing bonds with them, and he leaves. He goes for a board meeting the following morning, and he keeps texting and smiling with Ae-ra, which gets Yo-jin jealous. After the meeting, Yo-jin comes to tell him about their company's investment issues and brings some suggestions as to how to get illegal funds, but he refuses to do that. She suggests that he could also announce their marriage to get funds, but he says no, because they would be lying. He also tells her he can't reciprocate her feelings, and she wonders if it is because of Ae-ra. She leaves him with words that he can't get over the money issues. Fortunately, he gets an investor who asks for a bit of management rights in exchange. It turns out the investor was from Seung-hyeon, and it was Seung-hyeon who sent him. Young-woo sneaks into Ae-ra's house that night after a conversation with Gam where he recalls Ae-ra said something about their hope that was lost. It turns out he doesn't know about the lost pregnancy. He teases Ae-ra, who asks if he is fine, and as he is about to leave, he tries to ask about the lost hope, but doesn't find the courage. That night, Yo-jin's assistant reminds her of her hospital appointment, but she refuses to check in. She suddenly falls down as her legs fail, and her father watches from the window with copies of Young-woo's picture kissing Ae-ra. The next day, the team prepares for an online launch of the luxury bag. Young-woo goes to meet Ae-ra and flirts with her in the storage, and Yo-jin walks in angrily. After Young-woo leaves, Yo-jin comments to Ae-ra that she should work hard, because that will be her last job in the company. Ae-ra walks away, and someone changes the luxury bag they want to show off. Ae-ra notices a few minutes to the beginning of the launch, so the launch couldn't go on and people start hurling insulting words on the company's website. Trying to find out the culprit, Ae-ra walks into Yo-jin telling her assistant to delete the videos of the storage room. She confronts Yo-jin, who insists that it is Ae-ra who wants to destroy the company, and she begged Ae-ra to help her by leaving Young-woo. Ae-ra insults her in return that she only wants to hold on to him because she helped him. During their argument, Yo-jin collapses and Young-woo steps in to take her to the hospital. He meets Seung-hyeon, who reveals Yo-jin didn't talk about her leg because she didn't want him to marry her for pity. He also tells Young-woo that he won't be able to keep him in Ae-ra because he is dispensing Young-woo. That night, Ae-ra gets home to Min-young having a pregnancy scare. This makes her remember her lost pregnancy, and she talks about it in tears, not knowing that Young-woo is by the bathroom door. This revelation breaks Young-woo down, and he cries. He goes to meet her and hugs her. He brings her to the bed, but she tells him that she doesn't want him around her, and he should stop talking with her. He accepts to be away from her, but hopes she won't be away from him. The next morning when Yo-jin wakes, Seung-hyeon reveals to her that he knows Ae-ra's relationship with Young-woo, and just like her, he doesn't want them together and will do anything to ensure they don't get together. During the board meeting for the failed launch, Young-woo supports Ae-ra that if she was a snitch, she wouldn't have stopped the launch. Suddenly, Seung-hyeon enters as Yo-jin's proxy for the meeting and as her brother, which shocks his teammate. He calls Ae-ra out later to apologize to her for lying, so she asks if he was hiding any other thing. He reveals he is very close to Young-woo, and he also knows her relationship with Young-woo, but he doesn't want to stop chasing her. The arrival of Seung-hyeon as a director doesn't work well with Young-woo, who visits Chairman Guk to withdraw the appointment. He insists that if Guk wants to use his power as an investor to do that, then he will allow other investors to use their power. To their shock, Seung-hyeon comes out and says he is called for an investor meeting the next day, and Young-woo should prepare. During the board meeting, Seung-hyeon insists Young-woo takes blame for wasting the investor's money, but he asks for more chances to prove himself. Trying to start on clean state with Yo-jin, he visits her at the hospital and apologizes for always thanking her for being by his side, telling her that she can't be the man she wants, and walks away. Ae-ra also gets the job at the hotel, and she plans to resign. As she packs her box to leave, she receives a call from Yo-jin, and she goes to meet her at the hospital. Yo-jin gets angry at her, asking her if she knows she will be the reason Young-woo will lose everything he had worked for. She starts throwing things at Ae-ra and screaming that Seung-hyeon comes inside to calm her down. Guk also tells his secretary to withdraw all his investment in Young-woo's company. Guk visits Young-woo and reminds him he will lose his company that he worked for if his investment is withdrawn. Arya arrives but stands at the door and listens to their conversation. Young-woo insists that he doesn't care about losing the company, but he won't exchange his marriage for money. Realizing that Young-woo doesn't want to change his mind, Guk kneels in tears and starts begging. He begs Young-woo to save Yo-jin again like he did 3 years ago, because Yo-jin's lost legs is because of him, and Yo-jin may attempt suicide if she realizes she can't get Young-woo. Irrespective of that, Young-woo insists he can't help, and as a result, Guk slaps him. Ae-ra goes to his house and prepares meals for him. She also plays with him, and they drink. In the morning, she finds out she got drunk and slept in his house. By the next day, rumors of the relationship between Ae-ra and Young-woo start spreading. And as time goes on, it spreads all through the company, and the staff starts saying she is cunning by returning to the company to get Young-woo's money, and she is the reason the company is in trouble. Young-woo knows she will be bothered with the rumors, so he comes to her office and clears the rumor. He admits she is his wife, but says whatever he is going through is his fault and not hers. After that conversation, Ae-ra resigns, and she goes to drink. Seung-hyun comes to drink with her and asks why she is resigning at that time. She reveals to him that while she appreciates his feelings for her, it is burdensome for her. She also admits that she intends to end her relationship with Young-woo during the trip she wants to have with him that weekend. As they walk away, he asks her what she intends to do when she misses him, and she says she will bear it, unknown to them that Young-woo is around. She goes to watch a movie with him that night, then the trip where she intends to break up with him. During the trip, he doesn't allow her to speak, and at the end, he gives her a ring asking her to start over with him. She refuses, telling him she knows he is in debt, and she doesn't want to suffer again. She walks away. On the other hand, Guk tells Seung-hyun that he will grant his wife's divorce, and Yo-jin has also returned home in tears. After Guk withdraws his investment, the other investors call for a meeting, but Young-woo refuses to go. Yo-jin comes to his office and convinces him to go, and during the meeting, the investors ask why Guk withdrew his investment. He doesn't want to reveal the truth, but Yo-jin interferes and says it is because Guk doesn't believe in Young-woo's leadership. She suggests that Young-woo should be fired as the CEO because she has also noticed he isn't doing great with the leadership, and since the game is about to be launched, they don't need him again. Instead of being fired, Young-woo offers to resign and leaves. Ae-ra finds out at the restaurant and calls Yo-han, who tells her that Young-woo couldn't be found after his resignation. She immediately tried to find him. At home, Young-woo keeps trying to work on his new product. He starts over in a small store, and Ae-ra checks up on him sometimes. Seung-hyun also visits him and begs him to return to the company, but he asks if there is an issue with the game. However, Seung-hyun says no, but says the investors are scared since Guk's health is failing, and the mood at the company is odd. Young-woo visits Guk at the hospital to appreciate him for being his savior despite that their interest isn't the same. Before he leaves, Guk asks if he really can't marry Yo-jin. He says he feels he will die soon, and he can't but think about what will happen to Seung-hyun and Yo-jin when he goes. Young-woo works at the restaurant, eats and drinks with Soo-cheol and Min-young, and Ae-ra also asks to work with him as his personal assistant, so they start working together. The game he created at the company starts failing, and they need his help, but Yo-jin finds it difficult to call him. He also employs Wang, Gam, and his former assistant, Yo-han, to work on a deal with him. At that moment, he gets a call that he is needed at the company, and he runs there to fix the bug, then leaves the company immediately. He also successfully launches his second computer application, which goes far and wide when Yo-jin watches the video. Guk remains sick and spends his last time with his family. Following the launch of the new game, Young-woo takes Ae-ra to his dream house and proposes to her again. She refuses his proposal, telling him that when she left him first, she still loved him. When she returned and things got hard for him, she rejected his offer but still loved him. She thinks her decisions always affect him, and she doesn't want that again. He holds her mouth so she won't talk again, but she pushes him off, announcing that she wants her second marriage to be with him, and she will never leave him again. She takes the ring and they kiss. As the series ends, Seung-hyun sees his painting with Ae-ra and gets emotional, remembering his memory with her. His mother also visits and sees Yo-jin, and they hug happily. Ae-ra suspects she is pregnant again, and she chooses her child's name with Young-woo happily as the series ends.